Hey guys, John here. Today I would like to talk about control. We got a couple different scenarios I want to talk about, and I hope this is helpful for everybody out there. So first off, we have a townhouse, and this seems to be a issue for a lot of people. I want to show you what I normally do when I'm out there. So first thing, I'll take a look at my deed. And I see that in the deed it describes us as Lot 103 of Harbor Oaks. So I don't have a block. They they do have a block, so to speak, because this building could be considered something of a block, and then this building is something of a block, but they don't have it platted out that way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look for my primary control points, my intersections, my point of curvature, anything that I can measure from so that I can prove that I'm on lot 103. Now in this scenario, I have a change in the plat right here. So I might find my four corners and then go, find a few on the way down and then find these four right here in the change in the plat. And that will prove, well, also along with this block corner, that will prove where I'm at. Because if I were to just find, say two front corners and then, two more to the north, what does that really prove? That doesn't tell me that I'm on lot 103 because I'm not measuring from any change in the plat. You know, I could be on lot 104 and give you two front corners and it be the exact same as the measurements from lot 103 and two front corners. Because there's no change there. This is all identical. So there's no proof that I'm on lot 103. So always, always, always look for block corners and intersections. Measure off of those down to your lot to prove that you're on the correct lot. So this next scenario, this is a lot and block scenario. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the deed. And on this deed, it says we are lot 45 of block 3159. So let's take a look. Lot 45 of 3159. Now I can find anything on block 3159, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to go across the street to another block. I will if I have to. I could find something like these primary control points here, but I don't want to. I want to stay on my block. That decreases the amount of error, and it's the easiest way to calculate our lot. So what I would do in this scenario is I would go to my intersections, block corners, and point of curvature first. Look for these primary points, okay, in the center line and on the property line. Then I would, as I'm coming down, maybe find a couple neighboring and then look for my four. Now, how I would look for those on my lot or anywhere else is I'm going to look at the occupation. So what does this lot occupy? There's always something out there, a fence. I see a fence here, a fence here. There's always something to show you what this lot is occupying. So I would line up on whatever the occupation is, measure 35 feet from the center line because that's what the plat calls for. and then start looking in that area. Now the GIS is also a tool that you can use. It's not always correct, but it's pretty close. So you can look at these aerials and see, okay, that's about where my property corner should be, and start looking around in that area. And then once you find something, you can use your GPS or a tape measure to measure down along that line and start looking for the other points. So, also, little tip, when you're looking next to a fence corner, turn the sensitivity on your Shonostat down, or just start poking around a little bit with the shovel. You will be surprised how often I have crews tell me there is no rear corners, and then I go back and I find the rear corners, and they're right next to the fence post. It's pretty much 100% of the time. So don't be afraid to look in the back. All right. So again, on this situation, we don't want to go to a different block. We want to stay on our block. We want to look for the primary control points, and we want to look in the rear as well. Okay, now one more. Let's look at this one. So again, first thing I'm going to look at is the deed. Let's see. So on this deed, it says the north half of lot 7 and all of lot 8. So I want to show you this scenario because a lot of times people will call me and say, hey, I have the wrong plat, or this doesn't make sense. They say it's 100 feet, but I have 75 feet. Well, you didn't look at the deed. So always start out by looking at the deed, see what you got, and then go from there. So of block 8, make sure we have the right plat, make sure we're on the right block. We don't survey by address, we use the plat. So, all right. On this scenario, first thing I would do again is, I look at my deed and then I go to the primary control points. I go to my block corners. Again, you can use the aerial to help you, but the plat is also what you're going to use to measure from. Now it says 20-foot right away on this side from the center line, and 20-foot right away on this side from the center line. So I would go to the main corners of the block here. And the reason I would do that and try to get all 4 corners or all 8 corners of this block is because with these old plats on the you'll find a lot of times that the distance that you find out there is different than the distance that is platted out there. So out here we say, okay, we're looking for 400 feet here. But then we find 402 feet in between our block corners. Well, one of them must be wrong. But then we go over here and we have 402 feet here as well. Okay, so now we're going, all right, something's up. Well, that's an excess of land. So they prorated and they gave everybody a little bit extra. So you'll have to figure out the prorated size of the lot and measure from the block corner down and start looking for your other corners. But also here, I don't have any bearings. So this is why it's also important to go to the back or all the block corners. Can't tell you how many times somebody has given me just front corners on one line that doesn't tell me anything. All right. If I don't have any bearings here, this lot may look like 90 degrees because it's 50 by 100, 50 by 100, but it can be 50 by 100 and still be diagonal a little bit. So I need this line just as much as I need this line. You can't just give me front corners and prove the basis of bearing or the rotation of your lot or any of that. You know, always need to go to the block corners. So I hope this was helpful anyways. And, good luck out there, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know.